Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. It's another What's Up Wednesday in Malcon. I see there is 69 of you crazy folks in here waiting already. It is my intent to eat and drink in front of you. It is the end of the day. We had a crazy snowstorm today and several drivability complaints, and they usually don't go hand in hand. And I'm also eating a Krispy Kreme donut. How can the day get any better? Well, I won't talk with my mouth full. Yes, I will. And it's my first cup of coffee all day. Well, first cup of the day besides the morning cup. Because I've noticed, because I have some self-awareness to a certain degree, I tend to ignore it. But I noticed recently, with the cold weather, I tend to indulge a little bit more in the Java, and the more I drink, the tireder I get, which is completely the opposite effect. Now I'm drinking just straight up black coffee, and if I have 4 or 5 cups, I'll crash like hardcore, like 3 o'clock. I'm ready to go home, take a nap. Drink another cup, I'm sleeping on the way home. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I thought caffeine was supposed to make you crazy. For me, it puts me to sleep. Maybe I have an issue. So I didn't drink much coffee today at all. First cup tastes amazing. Is it, oh yeah, how's the sound and video and all that stuff? Because I got some new stuff. The Amazon box showed up today. I bought me a piece of Cat 6 cable and I plugged it right into my modem. My upload speed stayed the same, but my download like tripled. It went from 20 whatever megabytes to 60. So that's good. Good sound. Sounds good. All right. Perfect. Let's see. What do we have? I guess we can start out with the mail call. Showing appreciation to my viewers, as I was told that I don't. And I do appreciate all of you guys. I want to throw that out there right here in the beginning. Get it out in the open. Cheers to everyone. And it's looking good. Small crowd tonight, only 400. So we will dig in. First and foremost, a viewer, DVD DMC, I believe it was, sent me these out of the goodness of his heart, went and picked them up and then overnighted them. The guy's nuts. But he did, and I appreciate it. They showed up intact. Of course, as soon as I got the notification, I sprinted over to the post office and got these little guys. Amazing. And there's only 2 left. But you got to eat them before they go bad. I did share them with the children because I felt it was necessary. Of course, they didn't have, what do they call it, school today. We got snow. The whole place shut down. Banks and churches and everything. School. Everybody. SMA was open though. All right, what else we got? We're gonna dig into the box here. Buy a Dunkin'. Thanks, Scott Berry. I do make Keith Proud. I go to our local Dunkin' Donuts. I get the Keith Fazio special when I go there now. Extra large, light and sweet. And they know what it is. It only took me like 15 times asking for it, but got them trained. This letter. Oh, don't be picking on my hat. My ears are cold, my head's cold. I gotta wear a hat. What do we have here? Eric O. Hey there, Eric, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Letter. Over the past month or so, I've been binging on your extensive library of videos. Literally watched hundreds of them. Thumbs up them all. I believe we cracked the 500 mark. I think I made our 500th video. Winters are pretty uneventful when you run a lawn service business in Wisconsin. Anyhow, I wanted to send you something to thank you for all your knowledge bombs you've dropped. I was trying to think of a tool or something useful that you didn't already own, and when I came across your recent Dodge Dakota injector drop video, I thought, whoa, I've got it. You used my whoa. It's copyrighted, bro. After a quick crash course in injector plugs, I ordered the necessary connectors and made up these adapters for you. If my research is correct, they will cover a majority of vehicles you work on. Hopefully I made them correctly, and they will save you a few classic reach arounds. You can tell this guy's hardcore SMA. I can't thank you enough for all your videos. They are a perfect blend of education and entertainment. And just remember, Eric, if you record it, I'll watch it. Thanks for reading. Nick from Wisconsin. And this is what he sent, which are pretty slick. Nick looks like he's a pretty good wire jumper maker guy. So what he did, if you guys remember the Dodge Dakota video we did trying to do the injector drop and get in there on those connectors, they're a pain in the neck. So what Nick made is he has, this is essentially, you know, like your classic fuel injector. And excuse me, I don't know the J number of the connector on this side. Pretty standard. It's going to hook up to my fuel injector tester. But then on this end, he put a host of different style connectors to fit various fuel injectors. And they look extremely professional. I do see some heat shrink, but he did a fantastic job. I'm not going to lie. These are, he should be selling these. These are like the ones we had on the Dakota that are just a pain in the neck to get to. Pins are real close together. Pretty awesome. Thank you, Nick. I will definitely put these with my injector testing apparatus. Always think of you when I use them. That's pretty sweet. And good luck on the lawn mowing business. I think you're off the hook for the next few months anyways. Stick that in there. Stick these in the box so I don't lose them. I think it's pretty cool. And you're pretty handy with, you should make these, Nick. Not gonna lie. Make them and sell them, bro. I'd have bought them. What else do we have? The big package. This one comes with just a note. I used to think the reason you went by Eric O was to hide your real name, which I guess it is, but he wrote, how do you even pronounce Obrochacha? If you're a telemarketer, you pronounce my last name Obachaka or Obrochta. Or if you're just me, you pronounce it Obrakta. So that's my last name. That's why I go just by the O. And that's how you can always tell if it's a telemarketer, because they always want to speak to Mr. Obershetta, or Mr. Obachaka, or some other classy name. And then what he did is he sent me some plates from downtown Texas. The Lone Star State. Must be some expired plates that he had. Pretty sweet. Definitely make use of these. Hang them up in our office with all of our other plates. We got one from Saskatchewan, which is pretty cool. Australia. We have them from all over the globe hanging up in there. I appreciate that. Did not leave a name on here. Mr. Schultz. We'll leave it at that. What else do we have here? Another letter. Let's see. Gotta make sure here. This one is just unmarked. It says, Dear Mr. O, I saw your installation video on the Walker resonator on the Chevrolet. So this is on Hannah's vehicle. A coworker who worked at Cole Muffler taught me to follow the practice. At the back of the original resonator, torch around the outlet pipe. When you remove the old resonator, the inside pipe is now long enough to put the Walker resonator on. This saves having to extend the extension pipe. Saves having to extend the extending pipe. I hope this helps. Unsigned. From a mystery viewer. So what he's talking about, when we did Hannah's car there, we took the old resonator off. We just whacked it with a Sawzall and then bought a 4-inch extension pipe and, you know, fried it on there with a welder. What he's saying, if you take the torch, blow around the back side of the resonator, that pipe extends in there far enough to where you don't need an extension pipe. Handy bit of tip right there. I appreciate that. Let's see, is everything still rolling over here? Yeah, it's Polish. My last name is Polish. It's my Polish surname. Let's see. Okay. This one here. Hey, Eric, my name is Mike Myers. Isn't Mike Myers a famous guy, like from Wayne's World? Hey, Wayne. that guy? I don't know if it's that Mike Myers. I just wanted to say thank you for putting up the great videos. I know it takes a lot of time and effort. I really enjoy your videos. I'm not an auto mechanic. I do turn wrenches and diagnose electrical problems on woodworking equipment. I run a hardwood molding company in Northwest Indiana. No, we don't manufacture RVs. We do make a few parts for some companies which do, though. I inserted a small token of thanks for your efforts. I know they don't look like much. I find myself using these a lot more than I thought I would. I see in your videos you get into some pretty tight spots. These can definitely come in handy. I use them on the boat, and I take them while cycling as well as hunting and fishing. They have gotten me out of a few jams. Thanks again. Keep the videos rolling, Mike. And he's got a typo, just saying Mike. You capitalized I in your name, okay? It's not that happen again. And what Mike sent was this little bit of kit. Now, the box is insanely high quality. And I opened this up once. It's trick. I gotta remember. There it is. It's made in the Chaz Republic. So any of you folks from the Chaz Republic we're representing right now. And it is a small toolkit. And some people might think, man, that looks a little cheesy, but it's not. If you've played with enough tools, you get to recognize quality. And it's kind of slick how they even have their little latch system on it, and it pops up. The bits appear to be very good quality. And the thing I like about this the most is the bit holder. So this is a 1/4-inch bit holder. Now I have one of these in Mac, and the thing frustrates me because when you insert a 1/4-inch bit into it, the Mac one is not, straight through like this one is. Like that, straight through. See me? Okay. The Mac one has like this little metal spring in there. When you put the bit in, it's all fine and dandy, because you can get in like doing, HVAC actuators, you can cheat a little bit, get in there. And then when you pull your bit out, that little spring goes flying. And without it, the thing's about as handy as a broken. You get the point. But so this is, I think, the coolest part about this bit of kit. Of course, it does come with a bunch of sweet bits, a little 1/4-inch, hexagon or octagon to 1/4-inch square. I'm totally messing up the terminology. And a few sockets, looks like 5.5 all the way up to 13. It's going to be a handy bit of kit. It has a little, short handle and everything too. Scott Berry, nice block heater on my head, eh? Thanks. You like my hat? Better than having a furnace run. So again, Mike, I thank you for this. I appreciate it. I really like that 1/4-inch bit holder. It will definitely replace one of my Mac Tools kit. I will tell you that right now. And then we also have to have a thank you to Anthony and Ed O. I can't pronounce the last name, and I'm not going to try. Anthony and Ed O. They sent me a gift in the mail of financial support, and we appreciate that. And I just had myself a little reminder to give them a little bit of a shout out. And that's it for the mail call this week. So thank you for everyone who supports us, even with your nice comments or by sending us gifts in the mail, such as Krispy Kreme donuts. But don't do that. That turned into a tobacco. This package turned out fine, but the ones that you order online that come from California, when they show up, they're kind of dehydrated, to say the least. Unedible. What do we have? As handy as a chocolate teapot. There you go. That's more appropriate than what I was going to say. What else do we have going on here? Oh, I bought some new tools. Do you guys want to see them? Because if not, I'll just set them to the side. If you don't want to see a bunch of new tools, not a bunch. I bought 2 new tools because I'm needing them. Part number on the socket set. Oh, this is German. I don't know, made in Chaz Republic. This is what it is. Where? I haven't Googled it. I'm not sure. Maybe perhaps you guys can Google that. Let's see. I'm not seeing. I don't see a part number. Come on, focus. Gotta get my face out of there so it'll focus. It's got some kind of face finding feature. There we go. Perhaps that'll help. Tool Check Plus. So if you guys are looking for that, it feels like Top Tools boxes when you get some stuff from Top Tool. Let's see. Whoa, dude. Don't be F-bombing me. Do I F embed in pads and rotors? You bet I do, Jesse. No swearing on here because it hides your message. And I'm the only one that can see that. At any rate, yes, I do. And it's coming out in an upcoming video, so simmer down. Oh, so did you guys want to see tools? I can't remember. What do we got? Amazon store is still down. I don't know what's going on with that, Tracy. Okay, you guys want to see new tools? Let me just wheel the cart on over. Oh! What do we have? I purchased Altel, the king of the Chinese ripoff software. Altel. They had a pretty good deal going. A deal I couldn't pass up. I didn't want to lose money. This is their new TPMS tool. Okay. Of course, I already have a TPMS tool. I actually have two. This is my third one. I have a Bartech 400 SD, personal favorite of mine. I also have the Wells TPMS tool, which is fantastic and it works great. It only works with their sensors, which I can't get readily. So Altel had a deal on their TPMS tool where you buy 20 dual frequency TPMS sensors, right there, and you get the tool for free. And they had a smoking deal on the sensors. Buy them at Jobber. Less than 30 bucks. Dual frequency, 315 and 433 megahertz, over 90% coverage. They come with rubber stems, programmable, clonable. To remove the stem, push the button. What? The stem comes out, put the stem back in. So if you want to convert it to a all aluminum stem, you can. Programmable right on the tool. Now I have not used the tool to program their sensors yet, which only works with their sensors, which are readily available to me through two of my local tire vendors at a very reasonable price. And we go through quite a few TPMS sensors. I did the other day, I put a set of wheels on a 2017 Mitsubishi Outlander and then took the wheels that were on that and put them on like a 2009 Mitsubishi Outlander. And prior to having this tool, I always had to use a scan tool to initiate the TPMS relearn, to relearn the new sensors, and then use, a tool, whether it was Bartech or the Wells, to toggle the sensors to get it to relearn. The Altel did it all in one, baby. Went through, gathered the data into the OBD2 port, hit the go button. 5 minutes later, I'm out the door. So that's that. And then I bought some of their steel or their aluminum replacement ones. So there's that. I purchased that little guy. Like I said, I've only used it twice, but I've only had it a couple days. So let me set that to the side. And then I got the boss, Big Kahuna, the leader of SMA, the most used tool, as many of you know, the name Victor. And no, he's not the guy in the Mafia, Victor, not that Victor. This is Victor. You're going to come out, Victor. This is my new Victor Jr. My old one I bought back in the year 2005, and it has been used a lot, as you well may know. So I was going to send it in to get it rebuilt because I was starting to have a lot of issues. Both of the tubes here are bent from being dropped so many times. Just a minute. Crown rust proofing. How long is that deal for? I don't know, Gary. I don't know if that's you on there. Give me a call at the shop tomorrow. I'll tell you where I got them from, and then you guys can get hooked up with that too. So just give me a call in the morning. I don't know how long the deal is for. I don't know if it's through. I don't know if that was through till the end of January or February. I don't know. But the vendor's pretty good though. At any rate, I was stating that the old Victor, I was going to send in and get it rebuilt. It was going to be $100 and something to get it all redone. New valves and everything, which, I've replaced a lot of the valves and stuff on it, but they go right through it, get it all done up. But then I seen the brand new one for 200 and something, and it came with a rosebud and one other brazing tip and a couple new regulators because my one regulator is broke. The gauge is broke on it. So now I've got 2 brand new regulators, brand new Victor Jr., sweet goggles in case I want to wear those, and of course new hoses, a new striker, and this bad mother right here is something I don't have, but I should have. See, it came with a 0. I've got a 1 and a 2. Oh, baby, the rosebud. This is when you want to get crap ripping hot in a hurry. Of course, a new striker, set of tip cleaners, and a new tip. Awesome. So about that, and then of course the other new regulator. They're a totally different style regulator than what I have. I've got the old school ones, you know, the big Mickey Mouse ears on it. This is more like a robot face. And a book. I don't know what the book's on. Cutting, Heating, and Welding Guide. Oh, crap. That's probably some warranty information there. Or something. I might need. Sticking them up there. So I got that baby. So what do you guys think about that? That's pretty sweet, huh? I told Mrs. O we needed it, so she's like, whatever. No, F. Bobby, you're not the only one that thinks small block Chevy intakes when we say Victor Jr. The classic Edelbrock box store intake manifold. What do we got here? How was Embers? It was all right. So we went to Embers. Me and Mrs. O went there Friday night, I guess. Went there with a couple of friends. And they serve you like family style. So you don't order your own meal. You order stuff for the whole table, and then you just share it, which worked out pretty good. The food is good. Can't complain. Sam from Tool Hut is heading home, probably again. How much for an SMA hoodie? I don't have any for sale, but that is something I'm looking into. I'm looking into, what do they call it? FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. From what I'm reading, I purchase my hoodies and my sweatshirts and, you know, whatever other swag I want. I ship it off to Amazon, and they fulfill the orders and distribute it and handle the shipping and the whole spiel. So I am looking into that. But mind you, I am just one jabroni. So give me some time. I will find an avenue to distribute our clothing. But that cheap hat is so cool. Somebody mentioned that the other day, said I look like a hipster with my tore up hat and my other beanie hat on. I said, I'm not trying to be a hipster. I'm just trying to keep my head warm. Oh, what do we have here? Propane and oxygen. No, it's acetylene and oxygen is what I use. David said he does FBA. So like I said, I do have to check into it a little bit. Can we get rated R videos of the red Hondu? I do have a video coming out of the red Hondu. It's actually uploaded on YouTube, and it's going to be your next video. I was going to say video, but I didn't. So your next video is going to be on the red Hondu. The money light came on the other day, but my quick eye, I observed what it did when it came on. Took a big fat guess. Pulled the codes. I was able to duplicate it on camera, only briefly, but good enough to prove our suspicions. So you guys will see that. It's a short video with a funny ending. What am I drinking? Black coffee. It made me think. What else? So I got the red Hondu. I did do 2 videos today. I got one in my pocket. I'm thinking, yeah, I do. I got one in my pocket. The other one's over there in the camera. Had a pretty interesting one. You guys are going to watch it. I'm going to tell you anyways. Had a guy come in, and this car was butchered. 2002 Chevrolet Impala. Throwing knock sensor codes, brand new knock sensors, brand new harnesses. I'll leave it at that. It was pretty interesting. Took about 5 minutes to figure it out, and it was pretty cool. I think you guys will enjoy it, especially you electrical gurus. This had a little case of EMI. AKA wires way too close to other wires and lots of things happening on the wire. It wasn't supposed to be nothing happening on, if you get my drift. And then we have a Hyundai Tucson sitting over in the other bay. Got a video on that. It won't run the drive cycle. It has 3 monitors that it will not run and does not set any codes. So you have to use your noodle. Only took a few minutes to figure that one out on a quick test drive, looking at data, and that's that. So I do not do any body work. I do not drag race the red Honda. She's only 98 HPs. Not really drag worth worthy. DVD DMC. Oh, there's a donut guy. Glad you got the donuts, and they're good. Thanks last week for the vibration questions. Come to find out, it was a Ujoint. 2 out of 3 were replaced, or were bad. Replaced all 3. We're smooth as pie now. Well, that is good to hear. What was that on? That was an S10, if I remember right, that you drove, right? So good. Glad to see that you got that done. I got to do a video on Chevy Ujoints sometimes with the plastic impregnated lock rings on them, the OEM ones. Be curious to see what you guys say as far as how you get them out. I heat them up and let them come out like a little heat up snake and then just knock the U-joint out. Let's see. Thermostat on the Honda, it wasn't. Is that what you're talking about? It wasn't the thermostat, but it did have a PO128 in it. So think about that. Just because you have a PO128, insufficient coolant temp does not always mean you need a thermostat. And we proved that in the video. Oh, you're getting my snow up there right now, BW? Good, because it dumped here this morning. What a disaster. Every car comes in, it's got bald tires too. Got stuck in the flat parking lot like 3 or 4 times. It's a disaster. Panda Wonka, he or she writes, have you ever heard of rough starts after filling the gas tank? I have, Panda Wonka, and that is a common problem if your purge solenoid is stuck open. It'll fill the canister and then fill the intake, flood the intake with fuel vapors. And when you start it, if it starts, they will run like poo for a while. You sit there and, give her some beans a little bit, and usually they'll clear right up. So that is a relatively common problem, associated with, filling up with gas and then having a rough start or a no start. You got to put it in clear flood and then it starts. So, oh yeah, bald tires, man. We're all exiles from heaven, LOL, bald tires. You wouldn't believe it. I was ranting about it in my video because the one car that was here with, drivability problem that won't run the monitors, I couldn't even drive it. We go outside and do a power break and we're like buried in the parking lot in, 5-6 inches of snow, baloney skins all the way around it. Second car I had to drive, baloney skins all the way around it. It's a disaster, man. I don't know how you could live here and drive with bald tires or tires less than, 5/30 seconds of tread, even if they're all seasoned. Nope, it wasn't an O2 sensor on the Honda. Let's see. Hoopily doopily doopada says they got 8 inches. That's what we got. They're out there plowing right now. They put down so much freaking salt today, the roads are already dry. And it was coming down pretty hard. Whatever, put down the salt, baby. That's what I say. Are purge solenoids failure prone? It depends on the make and model. If you're looking at Fords, we do a lot of them. If you like Escapes and Milans, the one that bolts right inside the intake there on the 2.5s and things stick open all the time. As a matter of fact, I had it happen on my Tundra shortly after I bought it. The first trip I took down to go see Keith down Stanton on, head down on my Tundra, pull up, get some gas, fill it up, get in it. Won't start. I can tell, the thing's flooded. Held on the floor, rev it right up. I'm like, well, that's kind of bizarre. I get out, unhook the, the purge valve or the purge solenoid right up on the intake. It's easy to get to. Unhook the line from the gas tank, and it's got full manifold vacuum. Unplug the electrical connector, still full vacuum. Give her one whack with back of my hand, snapped right shut. Hasn't been a problem since. It's been like 2 years, and hasn't been a problem since. But so it's common. I think I actually have videos on it. I've probably got 4 or 5 different videos on purge solenoids being stuck open. Sometimes you'll also get a lien code and a rich code. because it'll run rich, set a rich code. As soon as that charcoal canister has been evacuated, then it starts tripping Lien codes. And sometimes, you know, evap vent performance codes and fuel tank pressure, and, you know, it depends on the system what code you're going to get. But yeah, it's relatively common. Pennies from the plow truck. That's right. They come right out of the back. Did I do a vid on Colorado? On the Colorado? I don't think so. There was a Colorado here the other day when my friend Matt was here. Didn't do a video on it though. I just went through, did quick diags on it, and that was it. Oh, man, I got a sneeze brewing. What probe do I use for COP secondary ignition? I have a couple probes, Logan. I believe the one is called a Weitz Probe. I might be pronouncing that wrong. It's long. It's got the long, hard shaft with like a 45 on the end of it. That one works the best. I also have an AES Wave paddle probe, which is a bit more sensitive, but it's more forgiving to, like, you know, shove down in next to the coil on plug. Can I program an LOI Duramax ECM? I certainly can. So I do those. I've done several TCMs on them. They were pretty failure prone. Do I have the flu? I do not. Look at the sun that's not out. Yeah, I'll just stare at the light, try to get my sneeze out. Don't worry, it went back inside. Anyhow, so I guess that's it. Been pretty steady here. Sick of the cold and the wet feet, but let's see. I saw you. Whoa, hold on there, little fella. I saw you reflash a GM fuel pump driver module. Can you reflash GM and Chrysler? I certainly can. Chryslers get a little more tricky. Chryslers using just J2534, it's much easier to do ECM updates on them. ECM replacements on Chryslers can get tricky without a YTech. I'll tell you that. Do Chloe and Sheba like the snow? They love the snow. Ooh, you stopped watching AV to come hang out. Appreciate that. What am I drinking? Black coffee. I think I've mentioned it a few times, but you could have been late to the party. Out of my deer cup, because I'm a redneck. Big buck. And that's it. It's gone, baby. Moved to Louisiana, no snow. Oh, and I think that you guys have alligators too, don't you, Scott? I love going do some alligator fishing. Do I have a plow vehicle? I don't. I plow with my tractor at home. I've got a Kubota that I use at home to plow with, and then my neighbor that owns the car wash, he's got a big 310 John Deere with a 14-foot pusher on it, so he just pushes the parking lot all the way over to his side. And Julian is here looking for a girl. I think you're in the wrong place, dude. Let's see. How old are my dogs? I think Sheba's like 3 or 4. Chloe's 1.5, somewhere like that, perhaps. 2 deer. Got 2 deer this year. You didn't miss much, Sam. I know you're heading home again. What's my opinion on Milwaukee Tool for automotive? I have not had good experience with them. And I have their Milwaukee Fuel 3/8 impact and their ratchet, both which broke within inside of a year. And what kind of sucks is, you know, I guess they're under warranty, but then I got to go through the whole rigmarole of getting them warranted and all that. The fact is, I had DeWalt for years prior to that, and I'm still using all of them. They're all still good. Same thing with the Earthquake, still rocking. Of course, I've only had them a couple months now, 3 or 4 months, something like that. I got my first one in November, I think. I put the dates on them. That way, when you guys ask. but both of my Milwaukee tools broke. And I was going to say the part that sucks is another one of my viewers who had Milwaukee tools, and of course all of his broke. He sent me all of his batteries. So I've got like this pile of, 18-volt Milwaukee batteries and no tools because they're both broke. I wouldn't buy one, in my opinion, because like I said, I've used DeWalt, I've used the Earthquake in the shop environment, treating them exactly the way I would treat any other tool, like crap. But the fact is the other one's held up to the same type of use. That's my experience. Maybe I got two bunk tools. When they worked good. However, they don't work now. So that's it. That's my assessment on the two tools that I have. If Milwaukee sent me some tools, yeah, I would use them until they broke and give you guys a full review of what I think. But personally, I wouldn't spend my own money to buy them. I don't know what your guys' experience is, but I tell you what, the Harbor Freight Earthquake stuff is rocking. I can't say enough about it. For the price, it's unbelievable. I have taken off so many wheels with this 1/2 inch. I just keep it in my toolbox now. Where is it? Right here. This little guy. She's getting, she's got some more wounds. She's been dropped on the ground a few times. Got some, starting to wear the paint off the side. It's been dropped. I got this one on 11/14/17. That's the date that I put on the bottom of it, because you guys are going to want to know how long I've had it before it breaks. And I don't, I'm not straight up abusive, like using it for a hammer. Even though every tool has a hammer side, I do realize it's plastic. And then, of course, I've got the 3/8 model, which I got way early on. Now this one's starting to get some battle scars. Still works like a champ. I did not date this one. This one I bought, way before that one. And these things rock. You can't beat. As a matter of fact, if I ever get around to Harbor Freight, which the closest one is like, 40 miles away, I'm going to get there. They have a cordless ratchet now. I thought about getting that. Let's see. If someone paid you your hourly over Venmo, would you entertain the idea of talking to them over the phone to help on a diag payment first? Obviously. That's a good question. I can't say I've ever been asked that question. I know I've had people offer. So yeah, I guess in a way I have. My problem with that is always, time. My time that I have to talk, where I could, look up material and perhaps help you, the best I could would be when I'm working. Of course, you did say that, you'd be willing to pay an hourly wage. I would have to give that some thought. I always feel inadequate to provide advice, without seeing the car, because there's, a lot of times a lot of variables. I don't really know how to answer that. It's a good question, and I'll give it some thought and provide you with the answer on that next week. I don't want to say something I'll regret, so we'll leave it at that. Oh, just order online. That's right. No Care Bear. What am I thinking, you big dummy? That's how I ordered my other one. I ordered that online. Ordered that in like October. Don't think I got it till December because they were on back order. And one of my viewers, Matt, who was here the other day, he's the one that actually brought me that one. Yeah, the furnace. I'm gonna kick on the furnace. If this thing goes wonky, let me know. Let me know if it goes crazy. What's waiting out in the parking lot? I don't know. I got something over in the other bay right now. A new Nissan Pathfinder. It's getting 4 tires tomorrow. Got the Tucson over there waiting on the mass airflow sensor, which is coming up in a video. I've got a Chevy truck out there that needs transmission cooler lines and a rear differential cover, 2010 or 11, I think. I don't know what else is on the books. I didn't look. All right. Audio, everything's still good. Furnace is on. Andy Mechanic. You guys got to check out his channel. He gets all the hot chicks on his channel. I had no joke either. I don't know what this guy does. See, thanks for your email. Let me know what you think about the MR2 diagnosis I did And also wondering which is your favorite tool girl. No comment on that, Andy Mechanic. I'll send you an email. Whoa, these are going zippy. I put it on slow chat tonight, but what tool do you use to reflash PCM on vehicles? The green Bosch tool, do you have a link? So that is the Bosch VCI module. That is what I use. Absolutely. Oh, okay, AV is good. Muggsy, my dog, he wrote, you mentioned in your last video, dang it all the heck, where is it? That when O2 sensors after the converter continues to switch like post O2, that indicated that the cat is bad. Did I understand that correctly? Yes, you did, Muggsy. In that situation, if you have some grammar wrong here. So the pre-cat O2s, you're going to watch them sit there and oscillate. If the post-cat O2s are mimicking them after the converters are, fully warmed up, that GM tests the catalyst on, if it had a catalyst monitor, would test them on index switch ratio. So it's going to compare the switch rate of the rear to the front. Being that the rear ones were completely mimicking the front O2 sensors, yes, the catalytic converters in that vehicle were junk. It will not throw a light for it though. And it doesn't matter in New York on a 2500 or 3500 because they're exempt from OBD2 inspections. So, let's see, Ibrahim, I guess it is, 2000 Civic EX. He says he launched it from the red light, went from first, banged it into second, hella hard. Since then, I have a lot of slop going from first gear. That sounds like it's pretty sweet. On that, I'm curious to know if you have just a lot of slop only in first, or if you have it every time you make, the first to second transition and the third to fourth, because I've seen shift cables on those actually start to separate where the shifter will feel super spongy. So I would have that checked out. You'll know in no time short because the cable will actually break the rest of the way. The outer sheath will break on it, and then the cable starts to separate, especially if you're really hot dogging that, launching your Honda, which is cool. Mad respect for that. I'm glad that you did that. I wish I could do that with my slush box, but she's an automatic gearbox, and there ain't no launch in it. But I would definitely be checking those shift cables if that whole shifter is feeling super sloppy. Am I drunk? I'm not drunk. I just drank some black coffee out of my redneck deer mug. Not drunk, nope. No, nothing to drink here. Drunk on fun, baby. True Blue EG8 says, I'm an idiot. Thank you, appreciate that. Let's see. What brand oil filter do I use in the shop for my customers? I've got my oil filter cabinet right here. Let me get that for you. I sell and install Regulators. That's what I install. Regulators or Regulator Pure Ones. On my own vehicle, I actually run the OEM filter. I can get the OEM Toyota filter for my Tundra for $3 and some change. The aftermarket cartridge filters for the Tundra are like $7 and up. So I just buy the factory ones. I would never use a Fram filter. If you do, so Challenger SRT wrote Fram. Do a little bit of Googling, even on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of reviews. How they're hot glued together with cardboard end caps. But no, my top filters I like that we've always sold are either, Napa Golds, which are Wicks, or the Wicks label, or Regulators. But that's a super debatable topic. That's like saying, what oil do you use? You guys will go nuts. Do you warm up your car? Come on. Yes, the furnace is running. Should I go catch it? I see what you're doing there, John. Oh, that was Wix. Yeah, Kenneth Wix, big filter manufacturer. They manufacture them for a lot of private labels too, like CarQuest used to be Wix. Of course, you have the Wix label. The Napa filters were Wix. I believe they still are. Fram is Walmart garbage. Oh, I do. I did get some swag. I'm sure you guys that follow us on the Facebook seen that I got a little package from the WD40 company, which is pretty sweet. They sent me the classic blue can and some of their new specialist products, which one includes their spray and stay gel, which is very similar that I found to fluid film. Has kind of a unique odor though. You spray it on, it's like it just stays there, just like fluid film. Pretty slick. But I gotta be honest with you, when I sprayed the blue can, I had years and years of memories coming back to me. I think all of us can agree that the blue can is probably in everybody's shop, house, or bathroom somewhere. It's a tackle box, you know, all around. And I always use the stuff when I worked in my dad's shop, you know, wiping off my toolbox. I'd use it to shine up under the hood of my car back when I used to, you know, keep my car shiny. And I really enjoy the smell of the blue WD-40. I don't know what you guys think, but no, it does not get me high, but it does smell good. When I first opened my shop on the first day, were you worried about getting work, and did you have work lined up? Of course I was worried, man. I'm human. Tracy Diller writes, Dorman sucks, but the comment's hidden because she used the sucks word. I'll show that for you, Tracy. There you go. Here. Almost lost my video feed. There we go. We're back. Yeah, everything that smells good is bad for you, especially when it comes to this stuff. Bright clean. That stuff will just kill you. Christopher writes, is the Coil worth the money though? Good question. I wish I had a way. So he's talking about Coil, Aero Coil. I got a case of this. Not a sponsor. Just FYI. I bought it from a recommendation. I have this Coil and Silly Coil, which has silicone in it. Stuff's been around since Moby Dick was a sardine, apparently, and used all over the place. Is it worth it? I don't know, because I don't ever have time to spray and then go home. It's always like spray, try it, spray, get out the torch. I can't really answer that question. Rick Anderson, he writes, I noticed during my last snow plowing that I have a clunk up front when going from forward to reverse. What do you think? I personally think it might be a ball joint. What I would do, Rick, is you have a lot of variables there. So going from forward to reverse, depending on, if you have a solid front axle, say you got, like an old, well, not even old. Yeah, you'd have to have an older Chevy to have a solid front axle, but, say you got an F-250, you got U-joints up front, wheel joints. Of course, if you're driving, GM plowing that, you have your axle shafts up there, your CV shafts, you got your drive shaft. Your clunk could be developing in the transfer case, resonating up through the front drive shaft. You got a lot of variables. Personally, I would just check everything. Or if you can safely move it from forward to reverse, and it's a distinct clunk or snap, you can get under there. I don't recommend this, so don't do it. And then have somebody move it from forward to reverse and see if you can at least isolate where the noise is. And of course, snow plowing is tough on vehicles, so always check your ball joints and everything else too. But there's a lot of variables. How much snow? I don't know, 8 inches, foot. I didn't measure it. Enough to be annoying. High-point gear oil stinks. That is true. Yeah, you also could have a broken motor mount, as Ed mentioned. So there's a lot of variables. I would isolate where the noise is coming from first, and then, you know, focus your efforts in that area. Do my dogs shed a lot? 24 hours a day. Any plans for a video showing a rear parking brake or parking brake pad replacement with electronic parking brakes? I think I just wrote a quote the other day for a W.U.W, that electronic brake calipers. So if I do get that job, perhaps we'll do that one. So nothing wrong with the train rate, just the bushing. Potentially, that's what I think about your Honda when you're doing the whole shots with it. You know, again, that's going to have to be looked at to see, you know, see what's going on. In that vintage Honda, I've seen those cables separate. Just did a 04 the other day, you know, where the cables are coming apart and, you know, the whole shifter got mushy and, you know, eventually it broke. But yeah, so you potentially could have, you know, it just depends on how the play is in that shifter. I doubt you broke anything in the transmission. Where's the Mohawk lift? I wish. Yeah, those types of dogs shed once all year long. True story. Yep, let's see. Blazer 02LS, he writes, he comments a lot on our videos. I tried most of the sprays with the same results. If they can soak in, they help, but spray it, hit it with a wrench, doesn't do much. And that's a true story. And that's what we run into a lot. I wish we had the time to, you know, spray stuff and, you know, go drink a tea and, you know, come back the next day. But Victor Jr., I spray it with oxygen and acetylene. They come right out. This is the best penetrating oil I have in the shop. A lot of times we use penetrating oil, you know, we'll crack something loose, it starts to move, then we spray the snot out of it and, you know, work it. I don't know, you know, perhaps water would work at that point too, you know. Hard to say. What cap do I have on? I got my G pad on, man. It's the same hat I got on all the time. I just have a beanie over it because my ears are cold and I've been cold all freaking day. I hate being cold all day. That sucks. Oh yeah, I think it's Mac Tools, not a sponsor. Yeah, hot wrench forever. Yeah, the blue tipped pointy end wrench. 69, where did that go? 69, the broken. 08 Silverado, a service four-wheel drive message light appears on the message display. Lots of possibilities. You have to get the code read out of it to see what's failing. That's the only advice I could give you on that, you know, without any more information. Oops. Let's see. Since video number one, the G-Pat, that's where you're wrong, Phil. I used to wear a Mossy Oak hat back in the beginning. Should have had that on the SMA Trivia. Did Hannah get her money from the other week? Yes, she did. And it paid for her resonator and changed to spare. So worked out good. I've not seen any UFOs lately. Oh, man, I keep burping gas. You ever get gas in your mouth and you just get the gas burps? A lot of you old-time mechanics will know that. The snowblower that sat over in the other bay, I finally diagnosed that today because, well, we had snow. You'd go out, run it, it was fine, run her under a load, and then it would start loping. Boom, 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 and then blip, just quit. And then you pull, wouldn't start. Wait a minute, pull, away you go again. I'll give you guys a minute to guess what it is. Nope. Yep, it was the gas cap. Didn't have an evap light or any codes, but the vent in the gas cap is junk. It won't allow any air into the tank. So it was essentially just running itself out of fuel. The first time it died, I was like, okay, that's cool. Let it sit, fired it back up, grabbed me a 10mm nut driver, went out there, ran it till it died, quickly took off the drain in the side of the float bowl in the carburetor, and nothing came out. popped the gas cap off, and made a mess. So that was my diagnosis. And then I just drove it around with the gas cap loose, and it worked like a champ. Do I think the Zeus is a good analyzer? That's a good question, Carl Conte. No, it's no better than the guy running it. That's the short answer for any scan tool you pick up. There is no cure-all, hold your hand tool as that tool was presented to the people, you know, where they say, you know, oh, we're going to highlight this data pit and bring it to your attention. And there's so many variables with that. You know, Launch has done the same thing, you know, forever. You know, you'll see it. They have their preset parameters of what they think, you know, a throttle position should be, a mass airflow, your fuel trims. And if your data is outside of that parameter, even though it's good, you know, it lights up the whole line red, very similar to what they do with their tool. But it's all comes down to interpretation. If you don't understand the data that you're looking at, then the tool's, you know better than any other. I guess I'll leave it at that. I wouldn't buy one, I guess, with the thought that this is going to make me better and more efficient and faster if I give them, you know, I think we're $15,000. You know, no way. I'd spend that money on a far site, and, you know, at least you got live tech support and a guy to talk to. That's just my opinion. Have I met Eric the Car Guy? I have. I actually have a video on it. Eric O, we had the Eric the Car Guy meetup video. Buy myself a parts can, and there's Jaron Wilson, the one we don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I don't think we've ever established that. Do I lube lock cylinders? I do. I give them a little shot of, you know, silicone, usually silicone spray. This is the silicone spray I have some WD40 silicone spray over in the other bay. I give it a little toot of that. Keeps them moving free. When am I going to be on TV? If you just like cast this onto your TV, then bam, dream come true, baby. Chromecast. Darren says he wish he was my son. I earn a fair living these days because of your wisdom, Erico. Love you. Take care. Well, we love you back, Darren. If you can do dishes and cook and don't mind taking care of my other children, you're more than welcome to, you know, come stay at the house. Do I watch Chris Fix? I don't. Not gonna lie. See, Mike Browning's watching me on TV right now. Superstar. Oh, Jaron, he clearly defined. He is a boy. Says what anatomy he has. Is my brother busy with record calls? I assume he was today because, you know, people put it in like moron mode. They're like, oh, snow. Let's see. Got to finish my organic chem lab report. Wow, that sounds pretty in depth. Last question. Do you have a video on the engine swap for the red Civic coming out? I don't have the video on the engine swap, and I apologize for that. I have a video explaining what I did, and we talked about this in my last live stream. You know, what had happened there and how I came about just coming down to put it together in a bit of rage. Not really rage. I was just really upset for various reasons, and just came down, and when I'm upset, I just want to be left alone. I want to do something. Ivan from the Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics up in here. What's up, Ivan? Haven't seen you around in a while, bro. Haven't talked to you in a while. Hope your new job's going good for you. How about Scotty? Who doesn't watch Scotty? Come on, he's like the funniest. It's like 3 minutes anyways. Like, you know, who else can change an engine in 3 minutes and make it entertaining? All right, that's all I'm going to say about Scotty. Do an appearance on Oprah. I know I need to be up on some Oprah. Did I get the YouTube play button? I have not. You're at a coal power plant in Rockport, Indiana. Sweet, baby. I burn coal at my house. Our coal comes from, well, actually it comes from down where Ivan lives, down in Pennsylvania. Reading, Pennsylvania is where our coal comes from. Rev up your engines. Yeah, everybody loves Scotty, man. I mean, come on. He does a burnout, has a sweet outro, minute and a half of whatever you want to know. Is it good advice he gives all the time? Probably not, but he's successful. Whatever. People love it, man. He does love compression fittings on brake lines. Yeah, Ivan's down there rolling coal. Are you the Ivan in the Russian mafia? He does speak Russian. Freaks me out every time I'm with him. I always think he's gonna kill me or something, but he doesn't. Blazer Guy, 1983, and he writes, 01 LeSabre 3.8 Series 2 won't complete evap monitor. EGR 02 heaters finally passed with the new thermostat, but I still hasn't done the evap readiness monitor. Where are you? PA, you're in PA. So the evap monitor on those, when you get cold weather like we've been having, I'm assuming you're getting cold weather, they are extremely finicky. And if your gas gauge is wonky, it's going to screw up the evap monitor and may not set a code. So keep that in mind. But evap monitors in the wintertime in general are a bear to run, especially, you know, key off evap systems, which that one's not, but. Oh man, the gas burps. Cost $1 billion. Did you say it like that, Ivan? $1 billion. That's how I would say it. Yeah, evap's always the last one to go. I doubt you have anything inhibiting it, you know, other than potentially, you know, a wonky fuel gauge. Land of the Amish and RV factories, must be talking about Indiana. We have a lot of Amish folks around here too, Amish Mennonites. It's always rusty, he writes. The best product to seal corroded alloy rims so the beads without leaks. I use a product called Fry Lube, and I also power brush all the wheels. So we take the tire off. I've got a Makita variable speed 90-degree buffer with a big steel bristle head on it. Spin it around on a tire machine, get all the aluminum oxide off it. And then I go around the wheel with Fry Lube. You can Google that, F-R-E-Y Lube. I buy mine in the, what are they, the 35-pound tubs. And then I convert it to my little 4-pound tub. Put it on with a Schwab. It'll last the entire life of your tire. And they won't leak, ever. Trust me. I've done lots of tires, thousands. I burn anthracite coal. Eric, who asked the question, what kind of coal I burn? Chestnut coal. So we have a, you know, gravity-fed Hitzler coal stove made by the Amish. Fantastic stove. Burns for about 24 hours. You fill it up once a day. Gravity-fed, always warm, even if the power goes out. There it is, the air compressor. Always. Never fails. Gotta wait for that noisemaker. Even on chrome wheels, I use Fry Lube on everything, Kenneth. The Amish like to lick their fingers when handling food. That's always been my thing, Zip. People are like, oh, you have to try this lovely Amish whatever. And I'm like, you know, they ain't washing their hands, you know, before they're down there mixing that dough and doing everything. You know what they've been doing all day? Like, oh, here, let me go clean out the manure pit. I'll go make some cookies. That's always been kind of my thing. I respect the Amish. I think what they do is pretty neat. I just don't eat their food. Personal preference. I mean, granted, if I drop a donut on the floor, I'm gonna pick it up and eat it. Don't get me wrong. What fuel pressure gauge do I use? I have a Mac Tools fuel pressure gauge. I actually have two of them. A viewer actually sent me one because he's seen a video I was doing where mine is leaking. I was just going to get it warranted, but he sent me a whole brand new one. Pumping bad air makes more noise. What would I recommend for a bidirectional scan tool for a DIYer? I think if you're going to get into bidirectional scan tools, Chris, I believe you're going to probably spend $1,000 or more. So you can look at like the OTC Encore or the Altel MaxiSys Mini. You know, they would be two good ones. Yeah. What brand air compressor keeps coming on? That is an Ingersoll Rand. So over in the corner, that's my big red air machine. Sits over there, hiding in the naughty spot. Came to work one day, all my air hoses were limp, and I was like, uh-oh. And then the old 50 amp breaker was snapped. I'm like, uh-oh. So I flicked it back on. A whole bunch of fire blew out of the motor on it. I don't know if the start capacitor went bad. Whatever the case is, it's a great big Baldor motor. It's a $900 motor, but I need air like, you know, we need our next breath. So I ran down to Tractor Supply, bought a, 80 gallon, 7.5 horse, same spec as that one, but it doesn't have the automatic drain on it, which kind of sucks. Is lacquer thinner safe for Cadillac converter? It's nothing I would do. I would not do the Scotty Kilmer, dump lacquer thinner in it, dump it in your gas tank, pour it down your. I wouldn't do it. If the Cadillac converter has failed, if you want some kind of miracle juice to try to revive it, which is highly unlikely it'll happen, I think they make stuff called Cataclean. That's specific for it, but I wouldn't go just dump the lacquer thinner down my intake. Personal preference. I get a bad converter, I replace it. Yeah, it's always great when fire blows out electrical connections. It was pretty sweet, and it took it like 30 seconds to snap that 50 amp breaker again. So what do we have here? I assume the feed's still coming across good. We're at 7 o'clock. 1,200 folks up in here. Yeah, just change the cat. Cataclean don't work, says Zib. I've never messed with it. If I get a customer that comes in, PO 420, 430, we assess it. Man, these gas burps suck. And find out, the converter is toast. I quote them on a converter. I don't, it's just like saying that I'm going to fix the head gasket with, liquid steel or whatever, Blue Angel or whatever it is you dump down the radiator and it, miraculously seals it up. I'm not into, fixes in a can. We just fix it, move on. Some of that stuff might work. I don't know. I mean, some of that head gasket repair crap they have is like, it's like 80 or 90 bucks. I've seen it. It's like 2-part. You mix it, you put on a chem coat, dump it in. I don't know. I've never used it. Guaranteed to seal, it says. Of course, everything comes with a guarantee. Let's see. Brandon is watching from Canada in his igloo. HG seal. Oh, okay. Head gasket seal turns coolant passages into a brick. I don't doubt it. Yeah, it's guaranteed to seal your heater core. Back in the day, I mean, what did people put in radiator to seal pinholes? We dump black pepper in there and egg whites. Legit. You could probably Google it. Yeah, I've never seen a salesman badmouth their own product. Ain't that the truth? But you gotta imagine. I mean, they're marketing on that stuff. I mean, they have to be, you know, making bank, and it blows my mind. I wish I almost bought one time an '04 Honda Civic came in and it had a blown head gasket, but it was barely blown, and I think it would have been the candidate for perhaps some of that, you know, miracle juice in a can. The lady wanted, you know, more money than I was willing to pay for it, so I ended up referring it to one of my friends who bought it, you know, put a head gasket on it. But it was one of those cases where it was, you know, 1704 Civic VP value package. I'm talking hand crank windows, man. And you would drive it, you'd have to drive it for like 50 or 60 miles to get it to exhibit symptoms where it would finally, you know, push an air bubble into the overflow, you know, push the coolant out of it. If you filled it back up, you could go another 50, 60 miles. But it was, you know, just so minutely blown, it would barely show up on you know, on a block tester, but, you know, eventually it did. And, you know, of course it was tore down. I'm curious if, you know, one of those mechanic in a can fixes would have fixed that car. I don't know. I thought I was going to buy it just for the sake of a video, you know, dump this crap in it. But then, you know, it always makes you think like, well, what if it didn't work? And now I've got a car with a blown head gasket, a radiator that's crap, and a plugged heater core. You know, now you got super junk. But needless to say. Yeah, so Blazer, he wrote that the W.U.W does work, but it can't be a big leak or mechanical related. Civic would have been a good test. So there, it would have worked. The only snake oil, I should say, that I believe in is, I don't have any sitting right here, it's over in a parts washer, is Seafoam, because I've seen it work. As far as a top end cleaner for removing carbon, to a certain degree, Seafoam does work. But there's all kinds of stuff. I was just, what I call in my office, you know, where we keep the magazines, where you go sit for a few minutes if you're a dude and hang out, take a break in that office with the porcelain pot. And there was an article in one of the motor magazines or Motor Age or, you know, one of them, I don't remember which, one trade magazine or another. It was this, you know, engine rebuilder. You dump it in. It's a metal revitalizer. You dump it in. Boom. Restores your crosshatch. Restores compression. It did everything. I thought about getting some of that to run a little test on the red Honda. She's got a used motor in it. Go ahead, you know, take the compression across all 4 cylinders, dump some of this stuff in, run it for however long it says, and then do the compression test again. See if it restored or increased compression. That's what I want to know. I think that would be a good video. I'm missing. You guys got some conversations going on over here. '63 Studebaker has a miss, but not thrown any codes. Steve's Auto and Truck says the engine restore is crap. Of course, this comment got blocked because he uses the crap word. Let's see. I want to put a Hemi in a Caravan. Want to help? It can be my Fairmont project. Oh man, I don't do projects, bro. Could a CV shaft make a sound like a bad wheel bearing? 86 Golf, manual transmissions, roar sounds like wheel bearing. Shop claims they did not find a bad wheel bearing. In my experience, I have never seen a CV shaft roar like a wheel bearing. Click, clunk, bang, snap. We have a video on it, you know, ratchet, going around a corner. I've never heard one howl. That's just in my experience. All right, Jaron, sir, have a good night. When can I bring in my Aviator? It needs timing chains. Imagine that. Probably Brian at Ford Tech Mac Loco, he would love to do that for you. He probably does them babies in his sleep. History of my auto career. In 1979, I was born. In 1980, I was in the shop, at least in a crib in the office. That was the beginning of my auto career. Been here ever since. True story, not making that up. My parents bought the shop then, so that's when I was here. Just like my children, you know, they come here. They were here all day because of the snow day. All right, Ed, he's got to go. It says he works for the highway and he has to go treat the roads. Lay her down thick, my friend. Put her down thick. Mechanics will thank you. Call Eric the car guy. What are we going to call him? Where's Big Nasty? She's over on the shelf, sleeping, waiting to destroy something. Yeah, I was born in 1979. Good year. I don't know if it was. I was only in it for a few months. Stuck in a garage as a mechanic, yeah. It was tough. Yep, from the crib. I have pictures of myself in the same office that Mrs. O works in a crib. I guess they call them playpens. You should bring in your 98 Firebird. I think it needs a new fuel pump. We actually did a video on that. I think on a 98 Firebird too. Trans Am. Haven't heard the chime for brake clean lately. It's coming up in an upcoming video. What Caprice did I own? How do you know I owned a Caprice? 1985 Caprice Classic. It was my sleeper. My moving violation, I called it. You're born in 76 and look younger than me. I don't doubt it, Bob. It's the beard. If I shave it, I look all weird. Let's see. Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah. They didn't drive. I was 89, though. My car was a 305, but not for long. Crown reduces my income. Now, I don't hate them. I love my Crown because I'm not changing rusty, crappy brake lines. What do I call him? I don't know. You don't want to call Eric the car guy and wake him up, bug him, whatever. He's probably doing work. Would I use a reman or new rack and pinion when replacing one? If so, which brand? Great question, Daniel. I've used both. The last time I used a Cardone rack and pinion in a Chevrolet Impala, I went through 5 of them before I got a good one. And that one ultimately ended up starting to leak about 3 months later. I have used the Cardone new racks without issue so far. Let's see. And Jim B, he writes a 2000 Chevy 1500. Oh, another gas burp. ECM light comes and goes, and the codes are always changing. Thought maybe the ECM is going bad. Well, that's pretty interesting. I have yet to run across that, Jim. I have worked on a lot of that vintage GM pickup truck, a very popular area, as many of you know. I would be curious to know what codes it's throwing and to see if there's some correlation there. I wouldn't just go throw a box in it just yet. I would, collect the data, collect the codes, look at some freeze frame, see if you can make sense of it. That would be my approach. You don't often see ECMs fail that just start to throw a multitude of erroneous codes. They may be related, but you might not be able to see the big picture, without I would just let it run. I'd let it run a full drive cycle and see what generates and, see what goes on. Do a series of Skype interviews with other YouTube channels. We could do that. Yeah, Al Gore says just throw a new ECM in it. I wouldn't go just wing an ECM in it. So I'm against what you say, Al Gore. Just FYI. Am I liking the Kumo AT51s? I was today, baby. Locker and four-wheel drive and hammer down. Actually, in today's video, you get to take a drive in it with snow-covered roads, running the Kumos. Of course, I'm liking my hankies too. How many yards were the 2 deer I shot? The doe, she was like 147, I think it was. That was a clean head shot. And then the buck I shot, he was 35, 40 yards. I do not have the meetup scheduled. When all else fails, fire the parts cannon. Put the parts cannon down, Richard. Check the ground, says Rob's car stuff. I would have to agree to disagree, Rob. And nothing, nothing against checking grounds, but when you take a truck like that, what ground do you go for? There can literally be hundreds of grounds, and not that it might not be a ground, but always prove the fault first. I've seen people plant problems into their vehicle by, quote unquote checking ground, crack it loose, tighten it up, crack it loose, scuff it off, they lose a wire, they create a problem. I don't know. I've never been one just to dive in and just start doing stuff. That's just my personal opinion. Like I say, no offense. I'm not trying to be offensive, I guess. Oh, I did get some more new tools. I'll show you guys. I got sick of walking back and forth for Torx bits and Allens. Ooh, look at them. So I filled me up a rail. Torx, tamper-proof Torx, shorties, longies, Allens, and the mediums. Of course, I got to get some more holders up on here. These are Mac tools. I got them. Forgot about that. I think I got something else too. I think the rest of them are in here. Oh yeah, the inverted Torx or something, but I hate red boxes, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm waiting for the rest of my little holders for the RAL to show up so I can get them taken care of. I also bought something else. I don't know where it is. It's somewheres. I don't want to thunder it in with it. Must be over in the other box. Is that Expert? No, those are not Expert. Those are actually Mac branded, but they're on an Expert rail because I had purchased, again, because I got sick of walking, I did purchase the Expert. Whoa, I'm going to tip over 1/4-inch drive impact sockets because I got sick of walking back and forth to the other bay. So I got another rail. I don't remember what came on them. So these are the Expert 1/4-inch drives. I love these little rails. They're kind of nice in the toolbox. So I got the other rail to put that stuff on because I am not a red boxer. I hate red boxes. Oh, that's what I thought. Some 1/2-inch medium. Oops. One in the thunder. Oh, that one just slid off the end. Some 1/2-inch medium swivels. I didn't really think I was going to need 1/2-inch swivels, but now that I have them, I just use them all the time. I'm not going to lie. These things will break your teeth when they cut loose off the impact. I've got some stubbies, but I got the medium length. These ones are Expert line, and it's what goes from like 10 to 24 or 12 to 24. I got them in SAE and metric. Of course, the SAE you don't use much unless you got a bolt that's pretty much wonky and you want to smash on it with a hammer. There we go. Barely fit in the drawer. Fancy, yeah, I know they are. Heat up the Krispy Kreme. I do, Justin. That is the best thing to do with a Krispy Kreme donut. It's like 5 seconds in the microwave. And taste the angels. You can taste them. Are they nice and heavy? They are. These are awesome. I mean, like I've been. Of course, this is the 15, so this is the one that's going to get the abuse. Pin style, of course, lifetime warranty. I remember when Mac went from the pin to the square peg, which was absolute garbage. I prefer the pin style myself. Flip over here. Yeah, they sell them on the Mac tool truck, Joe. That's, you know how Snap-on has their Blue Point. Well, Mac has their Expert line. It's their, what I call their cheap line. But if you're buying impact sockets, whatever, you know, chrome, you know, like in my chrome sockets, you know, these are actual Mac branded, you know, chrome sockets. You know, that's what I buy there. But in yeah, I think these are what, these are chrome vanadium, and there's no chrome moly. So the Expert sockets, they work just fine. You ain't gonna break them. Mike says, first time you watched when I wasn't eating. I got 2 Krispy Kreme donuts left over there, but I'm trying to cut back on my sugar. I'm not gonna lie, it's been tough, but I have noticed it helps your arthritis a lot. If I indulge in copious amounts of sugar throughout the day, at the end of the day, dude, I am sore. I hurt every joint, little bump on my head pokes out, I swell up. Yep, yeah, they are guaranteed for life. I don't know whose life, but they are. 07 Escalade rear air shock brand recommendations. Anytime I do any air suspension on GMs, on those, I always just buy the OEM because I don't want any issues. Oh man, oops. All right, John, have fun digging out your car. Oh, I wonder if Mrs. O got in the driveway. She didn't call. I'm assuming she did. Oh yeah, for real, Bobby. I don't know how to let you naughty word, but I don't care that you say it. But cutting back on sugar, like, you know, my joints feel better, and I still indulge in a little bit of sugar throughout the day. Like when Krispy Kreme shows up, come on, I ain't gonna like be like, oh no, I don't want my, no, I'll deal with some arthritis. I'll let my fingers swell up and not move. It's a Krispy Kreme, but it makes a huge difference. Help. The Dooley Cat says, throttle body rebuild on Chevy. I don't know what kind of throttle body you're talking about. I mean, are you talking of like old school throttle body, like 2 injectors, fuel pressure regulator throttle body? Those things are a piece of cake, man. If you buy the throttle body rebuild kit, I don't see them. I mean, they quit using them in what, like, gosh, they started them in what, 87 to 94. I think they used, you know, the 2 injector throttle body injection. Used to rebuild a bazillion of those things. Just go down, get yourself a kit, take it off, and it's a piece of cake. It's very self-explanatory. Fuel pressure regulator, you got a couple injectors, O-rings. There's not much in there, to be honest with you. Very easy to rebuild. And if you want to get all crazy and crank up the fuel pressure, you can. Little trick for you, a little tip. You just got to pop the anti-tamper thing out of the end of the regulator, give her a couple screws, and take her up to like 15 or 16 PSI. Yep, sugars in everything. The old high fructose corn syrup. Did I know Astro Tools makes sweet spray guns? I did, Colin. I'm not a spray gun guy myself because you don't want me to paint nothing, trust me. But yes, I did know that they do make spray guns. Do you think I've spent at least $250,000 or more on tools? Absolutely, Robert. I'm insured well past that on my tools. 2011 Silverado, do I need to pay more for the OEM front impact sensor? So what he's talking about, Patriots NFL 1, that guy, is the classic GM front impact sensor issue. I'm assuming he lives in the Rust Belt. They have a service bolted on them. They also have an updated part number on them because what they do, they actually corrode right where the bolt goes on, and they'll actually split. I always buy OEM. I know Dorman makes them, but I also know that GM has an updated part number on them. So I always get those, and they're stupid money. They're like 200 and some bucks a piece, and they're Loctited in. So, and they're right on the bottom of that radiator support, and they're a pain to get out. But I always use OEM on them, in my opinion. I've never used aftermarket, particularly when it comes to, you know, airbag systems. what we got here? Floral clips and more. Raphael, maybe Raphael. 06 GMC Denali, low compression on number 6 cylinder. I did an alternator current ramp test. What would be my next step? I hope I'm understanding this correctly. If you have low compression on a number 6 cylinder, I don't think testing the alternator current output would help or lead you in the right direction. What I would do, I actually have a video coming out on a Honda that I just did that could explain all this. But you know, if indeed you have low compression on number 6 cylinder, I would do a leak down test and see where the air is going. Is it going out the intake, the exhaust, or you know, in the crankcase? Because that's where it can leak. You know, perhaps you're talking about your alternator because maybe I don't know if you have a Pico where they actually use, you know, alternator AC ripple to identify cylinders to see which one's low. Perhaps that's what you're talking about. But if you have low compression at number 6, you need to find out the source of the low compression. Where is the air going? Oh, I missed some stuff. The Classified, longtime YouTube viewer. Welcome to the show, if you can call it a show. So he has a 99 Ram with the 5.9 Magnum, burning a ton of oil with the plenum gasket under the intake caused this. Lots of oil under my throttle body. You betcha, buddy. Them things will suck a quart a day when that lower plenum pan gasket goes bad. You're also going to find that they have a TSB on that, if I remember correctly, from way back in the day. And the thing is, they will burn an insane amount of oil but never smoke. Them catalytic converters on there work their little hearts out to keep it from smoking. But yes, so on those Ram, the older ones, you know, the 5.9s and, you know, the old Holly 2-barrel on them, they, you know, had that big tortoise shell intake, but the bottom of that intake, they made a removable pan. Like that's, you know, really? So the gasket sucks in on them, and then the thing just builds an insane amount of crankcase vacuum. And if you want to know if the gasket's bad, it's an easy enough test. Pull the breather out of the valve cover, pull the PCV valve out of the valve cover, and, you know, let them, you know, just sit out in the air willy-nilly, you know, make sure the dipstick's in, and just, you know, plug the PCV hole in the valve cover, plug the other breather hole. If that plenum is gone, that's going to build, you know, 18 inches of vacuum on your hand, like instantly. If you have a hard time feeling or sealing it, you know, just stick a vacuum gauge where the oil dipstick goes, block off, you know, any fresh air going in the engine. So PCV and breather, oil cap, make sure it's got a seal on it, block those off, and you'll probably find that it's, you know, builds crankcase vacuum if that gasket is bad. If the gasket is good, you're going to build crankcase pressure. So, no, I think they were a Holly 2-barrel throttle body on those. They were port injection, but I believe Holly made their, you know, their throttle body. You're welcome, Big Head. I don't know if I answered that question for you, but. All right, good luck, Sam. Hope you make it home this time. Warg85 just donated 20 knock. I don't know what a knock is, but appreciate it. I think he said he learned a lot from you, man. Greetings from Norway. So it must be the Norway-ish currency. The Norwegian dollar, I call it. Oh, you guys got some other conversations here. I'm trying to sort through this here. You're welcome, Classified. Hope that test works out for you. Like I say, you don't have to tear anything apart to find out if it is leaking, but don't be surprised if it is. Easy enough job to do. Getting the old gasket off is a pain. They're usually rock hard. The Norwegian krone. Okay. It's $2.53 US. Sweet. Mike's tool shed is up in here all the way from Russia. Viking bucks. Let's see. Whoa. Let's see what I recommend. Something here. Let's see what I recommend. A PCV catch can on direct injection. I don't think it'll hurt. I know that's the new trendy fad out there right now, is to put on your catch cans. I don't think it can hurt if you're stopping that PCV gas from, going back in and contaminating the intake valves and trying to slow down that carbon buildup. I don't believe it can hurt. Is that furnace loud? Sorry, I'm cold. I should just build a fire is what I should do next time. Where's Norway? That's north and east of here. Like Norway and Finland. Another one. Somewhere's over there, like 3 little fingers, I think. I could be wrong. Oh, what was the water air blower thingy I had? That is made by OTC. I believe in the video that I used it, I believe there's a link in the description if you'd like to own one. How cold is Avoca? I don't know how cold it was. Probably in the 20s today. Rick wants to know where he could go in Avoca, where he can go in our town if I'm servicing a car for like 2 or 3 hours. Nowheres. You can go down to the Dollar General, brand new facility, or the gas station. Other than that, we have nothing. You can take a walk. John Shirley writes, 97 F-150 with a 4.6, had a valve job done, new intake, new EGR valve, new DPFE, still getting a 401. So that's insufficient flow. I think what I would do in that case, John, I would want to see it. I would look at the DPFE data, see where it is. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's good. Keep that in mind. I would open the EGR valve. I would look at my differential pressure that's being displayed, see if it works correctly. And then I think that should still have a vacuum actuated EGR valve on it. So I would make sure the vacuum solenoid portion of the EGR valve worked and was opening when it was being commanded to open. That would be my approach on that. Oh. How do I like the car doctor? Are you talking about Tim Donor, the car doctor on YouTube? I've been friends with him back before I did YouTube. We were on some forums together, so I've known him for a long time. What's the nearest McDonald's when I get an urge for diarrhea? Ain't that the truth? You get the same thing every time you go to McDonald's, no matter what number you ordered. You always get diarrhea. It's about 8 miles away. Yes, Care Bear, we're still going. We always go for 2 hours on What's Up Wednesday. What's in the box behind me? We covered that in an earlier bit of the live stream. That's my new Victor Jr. cutting torch I bought. It burns when you pee. You should go see the doctor, Tommy. And yes, I'm running Windows 10. And no, I'm not going to Blaine or Spain. Oh man, I know, Eric. Of course, you wrote that turmeric is good for the arthritis. I can't stomach it. I cannot do Indian food, Mrs. O. I mean, I know you can get turmeric, pellets, pills. Mrs. O, she's all about that Indian food. She loves that stuff. I can't eat it. Oh yeah, the Big Mac is good. I'm not gonna lie, but it makes me sick. By the time I get done eating it, I'm just like, that was a bad decision. I shouldn't have done that. What do you have under there? I'm not falling for that joke. That joke's so old, it's got dinosaur poop on it. Am I selling my tire machine? I probably will when I get my new one. The DVD DMC, I call him the donut guy. He says when you're replacing a coolant temp sensor and your temperature gauge zooms all the way to the hot mark when it's cold, is that a sign of a bad sensor? It likely is. If it didn't do it prior with your old sensor, it's either the wrong sensor or it likely is bad. I would say if when it's unplugged, open circuit, it goes to cold, then, it likely is bad. You can look and see if they have a temperature resistance correlation chart and see what the resistance is in your sensor. You're gonna spoil my Honda video that's coming up here pretty soon. But yes, let's see. I gotta remember, it's open, hot, ground is cold. I'm drawing a blank. Single wire coolant temp sensor, I'm assuming. Take it out. You can take it out and test it. Go open circuit, see where your gauge does. Short it to ground, see what the gauge does, and that'll tell you essentially what your coolant sensor is doing. Am I a Ford guy or a Chevy guy? That's a good question. I'm a Toyota guy. You'll trade a Taylor ice cream machine for the tire machine? Are you serious, Richard? Because I'll call you, like right now. Let's see. Yep. He's a Honda guy. I am a racer. I'm not really a racer, but. Oh, getting too zippy zap here. The best players, Nipex. Agreed. I don't drive a Toyota Taco. I drive a Toyota Tundra. If I didn't have a big family, I probably would own a Taco. Oh, you're just kidding with me, huh? Great, Richard. If you're in the fields, why don't you? W.U.W Bravada with a P1345 and a P0014. What's the 1345? What is that? Is that camshaft correlation? I got to Google P1345. Crank correlation, Chevy crank position camshaft. Is that when the cam retard gets too far out? I think that sounds familiar. I would actually have to look that up. I think 1345 cam position. I would have to look that up. I can't pull that one right off the top of my hat. If it is, and I didn't even know they had the ability to set a P0014, which would be a cam crank correlation type code. I don't have all my code numbers memorized, to be honest with you. Into modding my Honda using billet aluminum. You know how to roll, Bob. Carbon fiber, bro. That's the newest thing. Nobody uses billet anymore unless you're old school. Yeah, so Hans Auto Care wrote bad timing on the W.U.W Bravada. I'm just wondering though, that 1345, it just sounds familiar. I thought I did a video on a GM57. I thought they throw a 1345, when the cam timing gets out on the distributor, but of course those 4.3s didn't have adjustable distributors, unless you wanted to go like, backyard ghetto on it, like we always used to, just take and file out the distributor hold down and, make up for the crappy timing chain and, get it back, get the cam retard back to, as close to zero as you can get it. 04 Silverado, the battery that goes dead overnight. I have to keep it on a trickle charger. Probably got a bad instrument cluster. That's about the #1 cause of that vintage Chevrolet. Oh, it's a Bravada with a 4.2. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm thinking 4.3. Yeah, you're going to need time, James. I didn't know. Did they put the 4.2 in it in 02? 02. Yeah, what am I thinking? Like 98? I'm thinking like that old S10 Blazer style. He's talking like Buick Rainier, Bravada, Trailblazer. My bad. Of course, you know, you got cam phase. It needs to be checked out. Variables there. You know, camshaft actuator, the phasers, you know, stuff like that. Have a good night, Sam. And yes, we can use the word retard. We're talking about cam timing. It can be retarded or it can be advanced. .2 is an AMC. That was a fantastic AMC engine. Oh, no, you were asking, Robbins? Oh, I don't know. I thought you were stating a fact. I don't know. Did the 02 Bravada have a 4.2? I don't know. 02. Let's see what Google says. The new 2002 Bravada hits the showroom February 2001. Looks like it is. The 4.2 and a 4-speed automatic slush box. The current all-wheel drive Bravada, powered by 190 horsepower, 4.3 liter. Maybe there's a switch over year for them. I was thinking they had a 4.3, but what do I know? Jesse Lund is watching us in Avoca, Iowa. What's for dinner? I don't know until I get there. When's the next trip to the junkyard? We went there today and we recorded it. So that's in the video that's in the camera still. I got to remember not to delete it when I get in. I ordered parts for it. I think I should take the card home tonight and put it on my hard drive just so I don't, because I got to have it like, oh, pick up the camera, boop, format. Everything's gone. Why do I close on the weekends? I don't think, do I have to answer that? You want me to work 7 days a week? Oh, Michael Bush, his wife made venison meatballs tonight. Chow down, bro. Am I a gamer? Don't tell anybody. Yeah. Who isn't? I just geeked out on Max Payne 3. I played Max Payne 1 and 2 a long time ago. Never finished the trilogy. So I did Max Payne 3. Love the game. PC gaming, actually. Only took 2 days, though. A little disappointed. 2 nights after work, boom, it was done. Did I get a slush back today? Absolutely. Am I picking up the kids tonight? I'm not, because everything is canceled. Everything. Nerds, yeah. Yeah, Max Payne 3. The Max Payne videos were they were great. I like first person games, you know, like Max Payne. Of course, got some Grand Theft Auto 5 going on. I held up 3 fingers. What was I? Max Payne 3, right? So, and I think I'm going to get Call of Duty World War II. That looks pretty good. My bend pack is a clear floor model, so it does not have the chain across the floor. Oh, Max Payne is the same guy that does Longhorn commercials. Yeah, you like the junkyard trips. I feel kind of like a jerk in our last video because there was a guy trying to get out of the junkyard in his little car with bald tires. Of course, he's just sitting there spinning. He's trying to get out of doing it, but we waited for him. Then we just drove around him. He works there. I didn't feel too bad, but you you pull out onto a main road. If I got a hook onto the front of his car, and he'll get out. Just keep giving it the beans. You want to drive around with bald tires? I mean, come on. Yeah, PC only. We do have a PlayStation 2 at home. The kids have some games on that. They bought it with their own money off Craigslist. It was something that came with, like, I don't know, you buy a PlayStation 2 on Craigslist with, like, I think it had like 60 games. Of course, we had to filter out some of the games because they weren't appropriate for little kids. But they all pooled their money together. They bought it, and they got a little TV in the one room that they play that on. I never play it though. I always play on a PC. Intermittent extended long crank when warm only, good fuel pressure. 09 Honda. Why is that ringing a bell? Oh gosh, this is right on it. I've seen this and I've heard it. Oh gosh, I wish I could answer your question right now. I'm wondering if there is the TSB on that. One thing I would think, and one thing that's always good to keep in mind, you can have good fuel pressure that's right full of air, and that's something that can happen over a hot soak. Like, so you used to see this on Chryslers where they would, they would hot soak, and of course, it would just boil all the fuel out of the rail. And of course, you get this a lot in the wintertime with, highly oxygenated fuels. Its boil point is lower. So, you shut your car off and, the hot engine will actually, just vaporize the fuel in the rail. And indeed, you can have good pressure, but remember, you can have good air pressure also. I would be curious to know if you had good air pressure or good fuel pressure and volume, fuel volume at the rail also. I think I'm missing something or forgetting something. I think if that came into my shop and was an extended crank, I would duplicate it. I would verify that I had good fuel, not just pressure. I had, actual good fuel at the rail. And then if it was an extended crank, at that point, I would look to see, why is it, is it missing something? Is it missing, spark or fuel injector pulse or anything, while it's cranking? Is there a sensor dropping out, something happening? That would be my approach. I'd be curious to know if it just started doing it in the wintertime though. Oh, did somebody mention something about junkyard wars? Oh, no, they didn't. I thought they were talking about Junkyard Wars. That was an awesome show. If I wanted to be on any TV show, it'd be Junkyard Wars. If it wasn't, of course, all staged and plotted and, done for you. I think that'd be super sweet. That'd be hella cool. If somebody could get me on Junkyard Wars, or if they should just bring that show back, because that's like a real show. That was legit. Junkyard Wars. You know the song. All right, 6'5" Creedmoor. We'll catch you around. Diagnostic Dan says, I'm looking good. Thanks, Dan. Mrs. O cut my hair last night. Have I ever worked on a motorcycle? I have. Just my own, back when I had a motorcycle. Did everything from the fork seals to the carbs. I've done engine rebuilds on them, ATVs and stuff that we've had, but never for hire. Oh, Schmitty, I knew you would like Junkyard Wars. What dude doesn't? What kind of PC setup do I have? Well, here at the shop, I just run $100 refurbs. Like this one. I don't know what this thing is. This ain't even an i5. Oh, what do we got here? this one is the Intel Core 2 Duo with a 3 gigahertz processor, 6 gigs of RAM, and a 64-bit operating system, Windows 7 out here. She's old, she's slow, but it works beautiful in the shop because all I ever do is get on the internet. At home, of course, you had to ask me. I've got a Pentium i7 in that one. Oh my gosh, 16 gigs of DDR RAM, a 250 solid state hard drive with a terabyte mechanical hard drive for storage, and the new NVIDIA is a V70. I can't remember the specs on the video card, and I believe that has 6 gigs of RAM. I would have to look. I can't recall right offhand. I'm not good with numbers on that. Just buy something super fast, or you put together whatever you're going to do. Paul Mass, he says, I've blown 2 head gaskets in an 05 Chevy Equinox. What would you do? I'm thinking of just rebuilding it and sending the heads in block in. Any thoughts? If you have that ability, Paul, to remove the engine, pull the heads, send a whole block and everything to the machine shop, go for it. Because when you're done, you're going to have a brand new engine. 05, if it was an 05 here, it's probably, a year away from being in the crusher. So yeah, I mean, if you have the ability to rebuild the engine, go for it. I mean, a lot of people don't have that talent, and it's good that you do. So, if you have the ability and the time and the car's not a rot box, go for it. Dennis Jason wrote, he goes, I'm in Perry, New York, and we have self-made auto repair here too. I know Dennis because I occasionally get their tires. We use some of the same tire vendors there in Perry, New York, home of Perry ice cream, mind you. Also the home of Silver Lake, and what else do they have in New York? The Charcoal Corral Twin Drive-In Theater. What? That's right. The Charcoal Corral, if you're ever in Perry, New York, make sure you stop by and visit the Twin Drive-In Theater. Play some mini golf, get a burger or a pizza or ice cream. Fantastic place. I don't know who owns that place, but the guy runs a tight ship. Outdoor stage, all kinds of stuff. Fantastic place to go. Massive car shows. Huge, hundreds of cars. Pretty cool. Yeah, shout out to Perry's Ice Cream. I'm not a Perry's Ice Cream fan. I'm Burn Dairy, and Burn Dairy is local. I like Burn Dairy soft serve better than I like Perry's. I'm just saying. Still good ice cream, and it's local. Buy local. Yeah, embers, charcoal. Yeah, there is a little bit of a theme here, VW Wrench. I see that you're picking up on it. Rock Auto Parts, do I have an opinion? I buy several things from Rock Auto. They're just like any other supplier. They sell a host of different brands, and it's more in the brand than it is the supplier. Oh, it sounds like a good place to have the meet up. Oh, yeah, it would, man. We visit the Charcoal Corral up there occasionally. And also when you're up in Perry, New York, you can just a little toot down the road, go to Letchworth State Park, one of the big New York state parks, the Grand Canyon of New York. Fantastic place to go. Of course, you're going to be there for a few days if you're going to walk the gorge and see the sights and eat at the Iris Inn, a famous restaurant right there. Wow. I can't remember my anniversary, but I can remember some of that crap. Jack or Jim, I would have to pick some Jim. Of course, I've been on a sherry kick lately, drinking a glass of sherry. Fortified wine. Probably because I've been watching Frasier, and they drink a lot of sherry on that show. Oh, yeah. And you want to know something ironic? I don't know if it's ironic, but kind of weird. Of course, I watched, all the episodes of Cheers, and then I started watching Frasier. The day I watched the last episode of Frasier, boom, Marty Crane dies. The real guy who played Marty Crane. He's dead. The day I watched the last show. I don't know. Kind of crazy if you ask me. Was it John Mahoney? I don't want to get his name wrong. I don't want to be disrespecting Marty Crane. actor. John Mahoney, I had it right. Dies at age 77. Yep, 2 days ago, the day I watched the last episode. Blows my mind. He was one of my favorite characters on that show, too. Yep, he did. Am I getting Mrs. O a Valentine's Day gift? I probably should. I told her we're going to take a day off. I'm sick of working. So we're just going to take a day off and go hang out while our kids are in school. How's the hand? Oh, it's all healed up. Just nothing but a little scab there I've been working at, like you eat it and then spit it on the ground. Am I wearing two hats? I am. Yeah, Eddie the dog was funny. I did like Eddie. I'm not a big fan of Jack Russell Terriers. And let's see. Miss Uki Atawaka says, F you. Of course, her comment's hidden because, she, must be a moron. So watch this. We'll go like this. Boop. Delete. I love that. Feel the power, baby. You just got burned. That's what my kids always say. You just got burned. Let's see. I should save my scabs in a skin box. What do you think? I'm a gold member? Bring me my skin box. Oh. Great movie. Everybody loves that movie. Yeah, classic. Now I need to know what show to watch next. So I watched Cheers and Frasier. Of course, I've already watched a series of Roseanne prior to that. I'm trying to relive my childhood here. I don't know what to watch next. Of course, it has to be on Netflix because we don't have TV at home. I'm going to run out and start my truck. Don't move. Stare at the little jug on the wall that everybody likes. Man, it's a bit nipply out there. It's colder than a well digger's wall. Back. Daphne, why do you call him Eddie Spaghetti? Because he likes spaghetti. Everybody loved Daphne. The Esther Highland jug, that's right. I'm back. The truck is running, killing polar bears and melting ice caps as we speak. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, you can hear the Toyota Thunder. Rev it up. Mash sounds good. That's hearing it through the wall. You're hearing that Toyota Thunder. Oh, Top Gear's not on Netflix. I got to find something. I like something with, lots of series. Warming up my truck is bad. No, it's not. It's good. So I'm going to get in it and I'm going to be nice and warm. Save the polar bears. No, we're out there cooking them as we speak. What do we got? Home improvement. There we go. That's that. I need a remote start. No, I don't. I've got children at home. They're my remote start. It's cold out. They love starting a truck too. Of course, they frick around with everything on the inside. I go out there and, radio's cranking, wipers are on. Heater's not though. Seinfeld, Taxi, yeah, okay. Yeah, Home Improvement sounds good. I haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, I would never put an aftermarket remote start in it anyhow. Ah, The Wonder Years. That's a great movie. I think you just got me. I think it is The Wonder Years. I think if The Wonder Years is on Netflix, I'm going to watch it. Don't need to watch a little Winnie Cooper, huh? I was in love with that girl when I was younger. What about oil circulation at idle? I'm pretty sure if I had no oil circulation at idle, she'd be knocking. Let's see. Whoa. I'm a new subscriber and you seem pretty awesome. I know this isn't much, but I hope it helps. Cheers. This is from Turnin Flynn. Turnin Flynn. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Tyronin. I'm terrible with names. Mr. T will call you Flynn. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy our channel. Oh, The Wonder Years ain't on Netflix? That sucks. Am I a fan of hip hop rap music? I listen to everything. I'm not always going around hipping and hopping to the hip to the hop. None of that. I usually do not listen to hip hop. No. Three's Company. I'm a little young for Winnie Cooper. Not when I was a kid, because I thought we were like the same age, but she's probably a lot older than me now. Oh, Winnie. That's like Topanga from Boy Meets World. That was another one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. Between Winnie Cooper and Topanga, oh, tough choice. Yeah, I don't live a thug life, Al Gore. More like hillbilly. I'm more like country, classic rock, getting the lead out, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Molly Hatchet. And then I like 90s country more than the new hip hop country. Where's Keith? Keith is in a training class tonight. The A team. I pity the fool. Oh, man, Mr. T, he was awesome. Jefferson's. You big dummy. What do I use for psoriasis? We tend to answer everything on here. I have a steroid cream. When I break out up on my face and I get all red and blotchy. Richard said he dated a girl in high school that looked like Topanga, and she was nuts. Hannah don't look nothing like Winnie Cooper. Anyhow. What else is going on? We got a few more minutes here while the tunder's out there polluting our environment as we speak. Yeah, oh no, they did. They mentioned the Dukes of Hazzard, Colin. Did I ever watch wrestling? Come on, dude. I grew up in the 80s. Of course I watched wrestling. You mean like Andre the Giant, the Superfly Snuka, the real wrestling? Real fake wrestling, but it was still pretty sweet. Have I ever done a burnout with a customer's car? No. I don't go out and piss pound customers' cars. QQ Trick One QQ up with the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you. Hope there wasn't supposed to be a question attached to that. All right. Turnin Flynn. Mr. T sounds good. Transformers. Oh, I almost just said Transformers more than meets the eye. We all remember Optimus Prime from the Transformers. I used to have like one of the Transformer toys. Ric Flair. Oh man, you guys are bringing back some good memories. Scrubs. That just makes me think of the song now. Scrub is a guy. You know that song? Who sings that? Is that TLC or somebody? Oh, man. Oh, Kelly on Saved by the Bell. Classic. Zach and Kelly and AC Slater always like going after Kelly. They're going after Kelly. And then you had Lisa Turtle and Screech. Knight Rider. Oh, Tailspin. Man, you guys are bringing them all up. Tailspin. Talking about, you know, remember Tailspin? Baloo flying around. I was just getting at the end of my era of watching children's type shows. Still watched it though. Just didn't tell your buddies. It was TLC. One for me for getting that right. Power Rangers. Power Rangers were past my time. The impressions are good for a garage slave. I appreciate it. Thank you. G.I. freaking Joe. Heck yeah. DuckTales, Tailspin. Yeah, that was getting right at the end of my era. Cat Dog. You know, remember Cat Dog? It was that on Nickelodeon. You know, one fine day with a wolf and a purr, a baby was born, and it caused a little stir. That one. No two-eyed buzzard, no three-eyed frog, feline canine, little cat dog. Cat Dog. You remember that show? Oh, man. Fraggle Rock. Down with Fraggle Rock. Love Fraggle Rock. Let's see. Oh, back when MTV still had videos. You know, my kids love watching classic rock videos. I show them to them and I'm like, you know, this is what rock and roll used to be like, man. Back when the video, you know, tight leather pants and big hair, no shirt, freaking just rocking, man. Yeah, Rocco's Modern Life. Hey there, Rocco. You know that guy? Rocco's Modern Life. Oh, man. Fat Albert. Hey Arnold. Oh yeah, Hey Arnold. What was it? Hey Arnold. He always had his girlfriend that was always coming after him, but she was always mean to him. I can't remember her name. Oh boy. Miami Vice. Yeah, you guys are bringing out the classics. The Jetsons. Jetsons. Meet the Jetsons. No, wait a minute. Was that? Did I just mix that up with Yabba Dabba Doo Time? I did. Crap. His boy Elroy. Yeah, you know. Remember? Man, I'm losing it now. I used to have an Optimus Prime figure. And it's funny that you bring up the Optimus Prime figure because all I can think of, now you guys are going to think I'm like straight up redneck here, hillbilly. This is a classic. I remember going to the bowling alley with my mom and dad because they used to bowl on the league. All right. So that tells you how I grew up, where I grew up. I had a great life. We used to go to the bowling alley and I'd meet my buddies there. And I remember bringing my Optimus Prime toy there and playing with it. You know, back when your parents could leave you unattended while they bowled and you hung out with other kids and nobody stole anybody's child or beat them up or did whatever people do nowadays. We used to hang out with my buddies and, you know, back in the pool room with like the bigger kids where they had the, you know, video games and pool tables, stuff like that. Yes, I did. I just totally mixed up the Jetsons with the Flintstones. Oh man, you don't have to keep giving super chats, bro. I do appreciate it, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. Yep, Tom and yep, their dog Judy. Power Rangers are way past my time. And Fred Flintstone, yes, he was a bowler. Ah, the good old days. Oh, come on, man. You're super chatting machine here. You know, get me all embarrassed. Yeah, pinball. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember going to the bowling alley. Jane was his wife. I'm all confused. I remember his boy was Elroy, right? I don't remember the dog's name. Oh, Galga at the bowling alley. Oh yeah, classic game right there. Galga, Pac-Man. Oh yeah, well of course we watched Dukes of Hazzard. I didn't realize the new Dukes of Hazzard movie was like so vulgar. And my son's like, he was here the other day. He's on my Chromebook. He's like, hey, can I watch Dukes of Hazzard? I'm like, go for it. Next thing I know, it's like, saying a lot of inappropriate stuff. I'm like, dude, what are you watching? I'm like, Dukes of Hazzard. I look at it, I'm like, man, you can't watch Dukes of Hazzard. Not that Dukes of Hazzard. Astro was the dog's name. Duh. Didn't he have a maid too? Robot maid. Come on, man, you're going nuts. DuckTales, yeah, I remember DuckTales. Lost in Space, oh yeah. Arnold's lover was Helga. That's who it was on Hey Arnold. Helga was the girl who had a secret crush on him, but he never knew. Oh yeah, Space Invaders. Oh man. Oh, you guys just brought back a whole bunch of memories. Rosie, the robot was Rosie. Man, look at you guys. You're probably Googling it. I'm just trying to wing off the top of my head. What's in the box? That's my new cutting torch. Let's see. They did kill a lot of Chargers. Oh, ice cream fund money. Thanks, Andy. They did kill a lot of Chargers during that show. I have a friend, or an acquaintance, I should say, not personal friends. A guy I know actually has one of the original Chargers from that show in the original condition. He's a big Chrysler collector, so. The real Ghostbusters. Oh yeah, I remember the Ghostbusters. Slimer. Oh, Doug. Classic Nickelodeon show. Doug. Doug, 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 Doug. Oh, my truck's not gonna run out of gas. She's full. Oh no, it ain't going down the road. I'd get a couple shots fired off through this wall before that happened. Oh, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in a half shell. Turtle power. No wonder jingles work, because I'm remembering these from 20 plus years ago in my head. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yeah, I wasn't a big Mr. Rogers fan. That really wasn't high action enough for me. I do know the song, though. And I want to be your neighbor. I won't sing the whole It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood song for you, but. He-Man. Oh, He-Man and She-Ra. This is great. This has been a great super chat. Oh, or a great chat, not super chat. Super chats have been great. I appreciate that, but it has been a great chat. He-Man and Skeletor, that's right. Skeletor. I believe I had a Skeletor figurine too, because they were like the same style figurines as your wrestling guys that you could get as a child. I only had a couple wrestling guys, but I remember having He-Man and Skeletor. Or was there one that smelled like a skunk? I remember that as a kid, because I remember taking them to the bowling alley too. I was kind of a Legos junkie when I was a kid, but I did have them figurines. And I can't remember which one, if one of them smelled like a skunk or something. Seems to be sticking in my mind. Anyways, I think it's getting time to roll, because people are going to start going nuts. Oh, your truck's running. Well, that's okay. It's running. It's just another polar bear. I'm just kidding. I'm not anti-environmental, killing polar bears. I'm not saying if one didn't show up in my house, I wouldn't take it out, but I'm just kidding about it. I want you to polar bear. I'd probably call somebody and take some pictures and be like, hey, look, skunk ore. Shane just says it, skunk ore. Yeah. Did they smell like a skunk? We got to establish that before I go. I'm pretty sure it did, because I distinctly remember having that toy along with several Hess trucks, which I completely disassembled. Let's see. Ochre did stink. Okay, good. All right, Wyatt, have a good night, brother. Let's see. I think some people are falling behind here. Scotty Kilmer with the $5 for some injector cleaner. Thanks, Scotty. The fake Scotty. Let's see. Superman or Batman? Of course you have to go with Batman if you watch the new Batman movie, because that's part of his password. Batman sucks, or Superman sucks. That's his password. Yeah, I'd have to go with Batman. When I build, I only use black and yellow and sometimes really, really dark gray. I love doing the Batman Lego movie. If you guys haven't watched it, you got to watch it. It's super awesome. No, that wasn't Scotty. That's the fake Scotty. He comes on and taunts us sometimes, along with Al Gore. But at any rate, we're way past our time. I'm out of here like a pregnant lady's belly button. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Thanks for interacting. Hopefully you guys liked it and whatnot. You know where to find us. Socials. Be on the lookout for some videos. Got some in my pocket. Just got to put them together. Got one coming out on the red Hondu because the money that was on. A couple of them I gathered today, and I'm going to go home and get those put together at some point. And you guys will have them for your entertainment purposes and learning if it's something you haven't seen yet. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Thanks for watching.